Hi everyone! It's been quite some time since I've posted a video and I do really apologize for that. The last couple of months have been quite a hectic period for me. I work 9 to 5 as a graphic designer, but then in the evenings and on the weekends I'm also a performer. I work as an aerialist and a pole dancer and a dancer in various clubs and nightclubs. And leading up to the Mardi Gras season here in Sydney, I've been booked for many shows and many gigs. So I'm blessed to have had that opportunity, but unfortunately, due to that, creating YouTube videos for you guys has been the last thing on the list, and I apologize for that. Also during this period, I attended a course which has really changed my life, I think. The course was called Crystal Dreaming. The way I came across it was I was going through some paperwork for my mum, and I came across a certificate that she had, and it said Crystal Dreaming Practitioner, and I was really intrigued by this. So I asked her what it was. She didn't give me too much detail about it, but she did say that I had to go and do this course and that I would really benefit from it, especially now that I'm getting more and more interested in tarot and healing and crystals. It would be a really good course for me to do. I went on to the Crystal Dreaming website, which is called global-healing.com. I will put a link in the description for you if you're interested. And I noticed that they weren't offering any courses in Sydney, which is where I live. However, they were offering a course in February. They did offer a course in February in Mullumbimby, which is in the Byron Bay area in northern New South Wales. Getting there was going to be a bit of a challenge because I don't drive, but I decided that it doesn't matter and I still had to do this course. Something within me was telling me that I had to go and do this course. I was really intrigued. So I signed up to the course, and Raim had sent all of us who have signed up a copy of his book, which is this, Alchemy of Crystals, which is basically the fundamentals of what we were going to learn in the course. It's also sort of like a guidebook. Once you've done the course, it has all the information needed to facilitate a session. In the course, there were 7 of us, which was a perfect number to do that course. Not too many, not too little. Also, 3 of those people have had a crystal dreaming session done before, and 4 of us, like myself, had pretty much no idea what this crystal dreaming thing was, but were really, really fascinated by it. And I thought that was also a good mix for us to have. So what is this weird crystal dreaming thing, you're probably asking yourself? Well, the idea is that, like a lot of us may already know, every human, every living being on the planet, anything really, is in a constant state of vibration. So by affecting the vibrations around us, we can affect the vibrations within us, and that way create a positive change and a healing can occur. So this can be done with either sound, color, touch, or obviously crystals. A crystal quartz, here's one I prepared earlier, just a regular crystal quartz, is silicon dioxide, which is the most common mineral compound on Earth, and it's also found in small quantities throughout our body. Hence why there's an affinity or resonance between our own molecular structure and crystals. So when placing crystals on or around the body, those vibrations stimulate our internal vibrations, and that way a healing process can be started from within our own bodies. So each type of crystal has a different frequency. Like, an amethyst might be for your higher consciousness or opening your third eye. A rose quartz would be for your heart chakra, etc. Each one operates on a different vibrational frequency to change or to sort of attune your body or a particular chakra or area within your body to that vibrational energy. The course was set up over 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The first day was called Crystal Awakening, and that was held by Rain's wife, Shakan. Sorry, not Crystal Awakening, Crystal Awareness. And that was basically the fundamental course to what we were going to learn over the next 2 days. Crystal Awareness, we learned all about different crystal properties, different crystals, crystal meditation, cleansing of crystals, cleansing of ourselves, and how to attune ourselves to the vibrational frequencies of different crystals and sort of, I guess, if we hold a crystal, feel that energy within our own body. And even if we don't know a particular attribute of a crystal, if you meditate on that crystal, you can actually feel that energy and understand what that energy is. The second day, Rain went through his book with us, basically step by step, and explaining to us how he himself received this method of healing and how it came to him. And then he went on to describe in great detail how to facilitate a session and how these sessions work, what sort of things we may encounter throughout a session, and how to deal with them accordingly. A crystal dreaming session comprises of placing crystals on or around the body in a particular pattern. And those crystals, with the use of those crystals, it's possible to focus divine energy and assist in a shift of consciousness within us. Now, this isn't done individually. It's done by a facilitator, as it may not be safe for a person to do this on their own, because you are entered into an altered state of consciousness, which is very, very deep. And it's always best to do this with a facilitator, a professional facilitator, who can guide you through it and bring you out of that state once necessary. In this altered state, a shamanic journey can happen, and a profound, or it frequently leads to a profound state of bliss, where profound emotional, physical, and spiritual healing can occur. So what happens is the client will lie inside this mandala or this arrangement of crystals. And basically the crystals do all the work. The crystals, the way they're arranged around the body, focus that energy into the client and help you fall into this altered state of consciousness. There is a somewhat, I wouldn't call it a guided meditation, but there is some guidance at the start. But very, very quickly, you fall into an altered state of consciousness. It's amazing. I've had 2 sessions done, one by Rain and one by another person in our group. And very, very quickly, you just fall into this altered state. So in that state, after clearing negative energy and self-healing, it's possible to experience this profound state of bliss in this shamanic journey. During the healing and the cleansing process, there will be a release of a lot of blockages, and including the release of cellular memory, emotional blockages, past or present life trauma, negative energy, entities or interference from any other source. So really clearing everything that is in you, around you, whether from this life or from a past life, anything that may be affecting you in your current life, and anything that may be affecting you and your soul journey in this current life. The techniques used within crystal dreaming open channels to the spirit world and beyond, and they facilitate interdimensional travel whilst remaining in a full state of consciousness and awareness, so this sort of bilocation, whereas you're totally aware of where you are in the real world, I guess you can call it, but you're also totally aware of your altered state and I guess the place where you're traveling to. And everything that happens within that state is the truth. So nothing is symbolic. It's not a hypnosis or a hallucinogenic sort of state. Everything is real and everything is happening or has happened in a past life or in a cellular memory that is being released. In this altered state of consciousness, whilst in a crystal dreaming session, profound, positive, and immediate life changes often occur. People who are challenged with health issues or traumatic past experiences, whether in this life or in a previous life, can quickly release that, and you can locate, diagnose, and treat these causes of all these imbalances and energy blockages within the one session. So the results of a crystal dreaming session is often immediate and permanent, and there's no need for a repeat session, or even if there is, they are very, very few. Unlike if you were to go, let's say, to a therapist, you might be in therapy for months or even years to get to the root of your problem. Within a crystal dreaming session, you're able to get to the root of that problem immediately and then release that blockage and release that energy and that negativity that may be plaguing you. After all of that healing and releasing occurs, you're then able to reconnect in full consciousness with your spiritual team or your spirit guides. You're able to explore different aspects of reality with their assistance, and you may discover your life's purpose or your life's blueprint, or communicate with guardian angels, spirit teachers, or ascended masters that are closest to your heart. And this is really for me, was the main thing of the crystal dreaming session is, yes, clearing those energies, but once those are cleared, obviously you feel a great sense of relief and release. But the main thing is connecting with those higher energies and those higher frequencies, your spirit guides, and those ascended masters that you are attuned with, and really understanding your purpose. It gives you a sense of purpose in life, or not a sense of purpose in life, but you understand why you're here on this earth and what your soul purpose or your soul's mission is on this planet. And I've had that experience twice over that weekend where I connected with, I would call him, a spirit guide who I have seen before in dreams or in meditations, but after having this session, it became very clear who this person is, or who this spirit guide is in my life, and what their purpose is, and how the two of us are connected in this universe. In the second session that I had, which was facilitated by one of the other students, because we got to practice on the last day, I saw, I guess you would call it a vision of something that I need to do in this lifetime, and it's something that I've been thinking about doing, and it's closely related to a traveling trip that I'm planning in the very near future, and it became very clear of where I'm supposed to go and what it is that I'm supposed to do during this trip, which I guess I knew deep down, but it became very, very clear exactly what I needed to do during this trip. So that was a very empowering experience to have. So I hope this made sense of what crystal dreaming is. I didn't want to give too much away because everyone's experience of a crystal dreaming session is a little bit different, obviously depending on your circumstances and your life and I guess your soul path. But I hope I piqued your interest. I will have a link to Rain's website down at the bottom. You can also get his book, Alchemy of Crystal, or any of his other books. Sorry, there's a plane. Yeah, you can get this book written by him, or any other book written by him, off the website or off Amazon. It is also available on Kindle, which is where I first read all about this. Please check it out. He also has, his wife does, she plays crystal bowls, so she has beautiful meditation tracks if you're interested in that, which are also available on iTunes, I believe, or off their website. But they do have 2 free guided meditation MP3s on their homepage, so make sure to check them out. They're actually really, really good, and I love doing them mornings and nights. They're a great way of cleansing and clearing yourself and the area around you. Other than that, I have been reading lots and lots and lots. So because I haven't been able to actually do much because of my busy schedule, I have been reading lots and lots. A few books that I have read recently. The first one is by Michael Thomas Ford, and it's called Gay Men, Wicca, and Living a Magical Life, The Path of the Green Man. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't actually read this book. I had some Audible credits to use up, so I got an audiobook of this book, and I listened to it maybe 2 or 3 times, and I liked it so much that I wanted to reference things by flicking through the pages, so I purchased the book. Coming across the book was a little bit difficult. I did get it off the book depository. It is a good introduction to Wicca, especially from a male perspective. It does focus a lot of incorporating a spiritual lifestyle into, I guess, a gay man's lifestyle or a queer lifestyle. It is male heavy, even though it does focus on the goddess aspects, but it is targeted obviously towards gay men, so just so you know. Another book that I read that was also difficult to find, actually sorry, I didn't finish reading it, I'm halfway through it and I'm doing the exercises. It was mentioned on the Four Queens YouTube when it comes to shadow work, and it is tarot shadow work. I had to purchase this book off eBay because I couldn't find it anywhere else. You can get it on back order. I read up to part 2, and I am now going through the exercises in part 1, or sorry, the spreads in part 1, which are the Star of Discovery, and let me just find the other one. The Star of Discovery, and then the Star of Recovery. This is a great book for shadow work. It uses the same spread throughout the book, however, it focuses on different aspects within the spread to do your shadow work, and all the spreads lead into one another, so it's throughout the book it's one continuous exercise to really work on those shadow aspects of yourself, and I would highly recommend it. Another book, which I'm currently still reading it, apparently everyone seems to be reading this book or rereading this book again, and it is our little tarot Bible, and it is 78 Degrees of Wisdom. I was reading this book with my studies, so I would only skip to the card that I was studying at the time and just read that section, but now I've gone back to the beginning and I'm reading it in one go. Sorry, I didn't tell you who wrote these books. So this was written by Christine Jetty or Jet. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. There it is. Obviously, 78 Degrees of Wisdom was written by Rachel Pollack. After my crystal dreaming session, I have had this weird need to look into the Thoth Tarot. I don't know why, I've never really been pulled to it, but after doing that course, something keeps whispering in my head to look into it more and more and more. I guess also the images in the cards relate to images that I saw, or not so much the images, but the color or the way, the composition within the card that Lady Frida Harris created sort of relate to things that I had seen in my sessions. So I'm getting into the Thoth Tarot and reading up on that. So I just started reading Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot by Lonmilo Duquette. Basically, this book sort of explains the... Let me get it. Basically explains the Book of Thoth written by Aleister Crowley, because a lot of people claim that if you don't have the knowledge that Crowley had throughout his life before he wrote this book, it might be difficult for you to understand it. I've not started reading it. I will get to it. I had to buy this one on eBay as well. Cheap. I will get to it, but I thought I'd just read the first couple of chapters of Duquette's book to get, I guess, a bit more of an understanding. A lot of things may make sense to me, I guess, because as a kid my mom was into Kabbalah, so I guess I have a little bit of an understanding of what everything means. I also grew up in Israel, so the Hebrew is easy and it makes sense for me. But if you've never experienced that or never read anything about that, it will get a bit confusing. I did also watch a lecture by Duquette that is sort of... He covers the first couple of chapters of his book. I will post the links to that in the description, so watch that. It's a couple of hours long, but watch it or listen to it. It'll give you a better understanding of what he talks about in the book. Besides that, there are two other books that I'm reading. They are on my Kindle, so I will try and show you as best as I can the covers. So the first one, Becoming Kuan Yin by Stephen Levine, The Evolution of Compassion. This book is kind of like the story of Kuan Yin and how she became the Bodhisattva. And then it incorporates sort of practical exercises to put in your life to evolve your own love and your own compassion. It's an interesting book, however, there are a few... It's written in a very modern way, so at times it's a little bit confusing. I'm not too familiar with the story of Kuan Yin, so this is basically my introduction to Kuan Yin. So I am taking a lot of it with a grain of salt, and I would like to probably read more traditional stories of Kuan Yin. But nonetheless, it's an excellent book, and it does keep things simplified and relevant to daily life in the big city, so that's great. I came across this book by going through Chris Grosso's Instagram, which I urge you to follow. I came across Chris Grosso by following Darba Apple's Instagram, who was recommended by Our Moon. So, back to Chris Grosso. I am reading his book, The Indie Spiritualist, which I will highly recommend to anyone, wherever you come from. If you have come across my channel, you are probably interested in something that I have to say, and if you're interested in something that I have to say, you will definitely be interested in what Chris Grosso has to say about leading a spiritual lifestyle and what it means. So, The Indie Spiritualist. This is the cover of the book. It is on my Kindle, so you'll have to bear with me. That's the cover of the book. You can also find him on his website, which is The Indie Spiritualist, link down below. So yeah, I hope that was interesting. Please check all these books out if any of those were of interest to you. Check out the Crystal Dreaming. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, if I haven't covered anything, please comment below and ask me anything you want about anything that I've talked about today. I know it was a lot of information in a short period of time, but if you have any questions, let me know and I will either just answer them in a comment or I will make a video about it. So thank you and have an awesome day. Blessed be.